Hey you guys, it's Lula coming to you from my house. Yesterday was cool though. I liked that. I like that spontaneity because that's who I am. I'm like so sad and I'm all about, adventure and freedom and all that good stuff. And boy, look at the monkey. It's one of my favorite phrases ever because it is a tool that has been in place, the hierarchy against the rest of us for a long time. Through each decade, through each century, we each, our ancestors, we're all growing, we're all changing, we're all becoming different things. But we've all experienced the look at the monkey from our higher ups, right? So now it's time to take our lives back. It's time to say no more. I'm sorry. That doesn't work for me. And yesterday at the end of the video, I started to quote something, and it was from Chris Pratt. And there's this big controversy going on about, I don't know if it's the director, producer, both, of their series, the Guardian of the Galaxy series. And he was fired, and Chris Pratt put some James something from the Bible. But it was actually really apropos because I don't remember it, so I'm paraphrasing. Some of you know this, but it was saying that we need to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Because we've been in this very rush mentality for a really long time. And we have to be this, we have to be that, we have to accomplish this, we have to accomplish that. If you want to be like us, if you want to be rich, you have to do this, you have to do that. But the thing is the little thing they don't really tell you in the fine print is that they're manipulating us into believing that we are this kind of drone-like mentality where we need them to survive. I'm all about everybody being successful. I want everyone to be successful all the time. My life is very, very beautiful and bountiful and successful in its own right. But if there were some people who were to look at my life and see the way I live, they would probably pity me. I'm quite certain most of them would. But it wasn't always like this. I used to make a lot of money. I was extremely ambitious and lived in major cities most of my life. And there was a time when I was trying to sink into this life, when I was trying to rid myself of things and attachment and all that stuff. And I'm still working on all that. And my ego, God bless my ego. My ego is so hard. The ego is the hardest for me. I'm telling you, it's so hard. My ego and my food addiction, those are like my two biggest things. But honestly, there was a time where, I just would break down. And I was telling these people this yesterday when we were at the T-Mobile, like I was talking about on part 1 yesterday of this look at the monkey. I said there was a time ago where I just fell in a heap on the floor and started crying, and I was like, I used to live in a vintage high-rise on Lake Michigan. I'm like, and I had a doorman. And it's so funny because they're like, ooh. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, my other favorite phrase I like to say is I didn't come out of a box like this, which I actually got from Roseanne, the old Roseanne episodes, when people used to say, oh, Dan's so awesome. And she's like, you think he came out of a box like this? She's like, this is years of work and conditioning. That was awesome. Oh, Roseanne, her big mouth gets her in so much trouble, but she's really smart. That's the thing. We're all really smart and we all have our own level of consciousness, right? So this whole look at the monkey thing it's been going on for so long. And I think there's this shame that comes along with it where people are like, gosh, I feel so stupid. Like, how did we not see it? Or how did our ancestors not see it? And there's a lot of anger that kind of pairs with that shame because it's like, wow, it's like, I was watching this funny show, dark comedy called Scream Queens, and I just found it at the library. But anyway, I was laughing because of that kind of conditioning, like frats and sororities and you wanting to be the best. And I mean, this has been going on for centuries. And people like Donald Trump, the Bush family, I could go on and on and on. And it's not just the Republicans. I'm not digging on them. George Bush is actually really funny. George Bush Jr. is really funny. And George Bush Sr. is very lovely. And there was a time where I actually really liked Trump, and I thought, well, he's pretty smart, you know. But now I'm realizing he's too smart. He's smart, stupid, which is a very fucking dangerous combination because his arrogance and his ignorance is what stems from, or what makes him quote unquote stupid or say stupid things, thoughtless, careless. But he's not being accountable. These people in power have been trying to control us for so long. I mean, there's so many layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of our world, of our countries, of our history. I remember having this discussion one time with my mom about the, Native Americans. My great-grandfather is Cherokee. And so it's interesting, how people are perceived and their perceptions of things. And so my mom's argument was when I was saying, don't you think it's disgusting, like what our forefathers did to, like, they completely, I go, everybody, talks about World War II, and of course it was horrific. I'm like, but what about the genocide that happened right here, the Native Americans, and they've been put down to this smaller class. And my mom said, I'm not saying it's okay. She goes, I'm just saying, like, this has been going on since before the Romans. Like, this is just something that's perpetuated through time, So this whole look at the monkey, you need to pull yourself out of it. I'm not saying you have to completely stop doing the things you love or you have to stop eating the foods you like, whatever, but just make better choices, You just have to make better choices and not fall into this, like, mentality of who you should be or what you should wear or how much you should weigh or what you should look like or lying about your age or any of it. It's like, it's a very dangerous thing for all of us to think for ourselves. Do you understand? So we have been controlled for a really long time by lots of families, but there is a key group of families that have been on this planet for a long time, through generations, that have been controlling the planet. Not just our country, not just England. I mean, when you really study history and you look and see, like, do your homework, do your history. That's the thing. They don't want you to fucking look at your stuff. They want me to be crazy and I'm a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I've been thinking this shit since I was a kid, and I was always told to be quiet, or no one in my family thought like me. So somewhere in my soul contract, I said, please give me a right-wing Republican Christian family that I am absolutely nothing like. It's hard. It's hard. They're good people. They're loving, awesome people. I love my family, but we don't see things the same way. And I've seen these things since I was a child. So it's like, part of it is conditioning, but part of it is, birds of a feather. I mean, people think for themselves the way they want to think for themselves. And then some people are like, oh no, I feel that way too. Oh, I feel that way too. And there's also some bond and camaraderie in that. But I've always been kind of a rebel, and I've always, like, thought for myself. And as my aunt used to say, I walk to the beat of my own drum. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I want you to do the same. Get out of this look at the monkey bullshit. We don't need anything. We really don't. We just need a roof over our heads and foods in our belly. Okay, yeah, we need a good running vehicle because we do live in 2018. But I mean, imagine, and this would be a whole other show, and I'm about to get cut off. I'm working on getting another thing. Trust me. I'm like, because I just can't. But there's so much going on that I think that's another reason why I wanted to start talking all the time. Because there are many, many, many light workers, spirit warriors like myself who are waking up, and I'm just trying to help you through your process. We all are magic. We all can do what I do. We can all read each other's minds. It's just we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that we're not special, or that we're not unique, or that we want to be like everybody else. Well, you know what? Stop looking at the fucking monkey. Look at yourself. Who are you? What do you want to be? What are you bringing to this world, to this planet? What did you want to be when you were 8 years old? That's a question I ask my clients a lot of times. That age range, 7 to 10. That's usually when we really knew who we were, or were starting to understand who we were and seeing the differences between us and others. Okay, I'm going to get cut off. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace, light, and love always. Blessed be. Aho.